Welcome to Energy Charts today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 12th of April, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at crude oil and Brent crude really just powering ahead, recovering most of this loss now back into the range. And 57.50 is the key level. We talk about this each day. We're going to get a massive upside target off as a result of this break on the medium term and even the long term chart. The key thing is, can we go higher? And the short-term targets are suggesting we can. We've got three targets pointing to 58.86, 58.74, and 59.63. So let's say around 59. That's another 4% upside. Really, really strong, and just continuing to march up the hill. Of course, the one thing to do is take a look at the 1-minute chart. You can do that on your updater system fairly easily. Press the T key, and you'll get the trends and targets. And here we see we've got good support, no real signs of any downturn on the 1-minute chart, and again these targets of 59 and 60 confirmed, so really significant. And if we go to even smaller upside targets, we're seeing smaller box sizes, we're seeing 57, 57.60, so that would be a break. Keep an eye on this chart. This is where you'll see the first signs of any slowdown or downturn, and there will be some resistance potentially at 57.50 probably, but at the moment it's looking very bullish in the short term, and the medium term chart has recovered, so a real turnaround there for oil prices. And the same for WTI, of course. We need to break higher than where this downward target was given, $37. Not far now to do that, so 55 is the level there. Looking at heating oil, looking pretty bullish. NatGas just below the cloud on the short term, so not experiencing the same level of bullishness in the short term as crude, but the long term picture is still pretty good. RBOB has actually just continued to power ahead. It's the one standout. It's been bullish all through this sell off. Coal sold off at that high in the high 60s, just couldn't get any higher, has come back to find support on the cloud on the price. But we are just a little bit bearish in the medium-term chart. We do have still these downside targets in the mid-50s hanging over us, so that's quite key. We need to break above the $70 level to be convincing for the higher targets. And emissions still looking pretty bearish below the cloud. Taking a look at front-month MBP, exchange-traded contract, we're seeing here that we are bearish below the cloud. We've got downside targets 35 and 37. We'll take a look at OTC in a moment, but this chart looking pretty bearish as well. And on TTF, we're seeing much the same thing on the front month contract below the cloud here too. Looking at the dollar index, you can see here that the dollar index has just fallen back below the cloud. We did have a downside target of 99.18. That's been met, in fact exceeded, so that is slightly bearish, but we have got this upside target now to 106. If we break higher than the 101.50 level on the dollar index, we would activate that target. Taking a look at the euro, we see here we're just below the cloud there as well. We are recovering, so we do have this activated downside target of 102. So the dollar has turned a bit bearish, euro starting to look a little bit better, and sterling definitely looking better after yesterday's jump, nudging this 125 level again. And looking at the euro sterling rate, we see that actually sterling has had the upper hand here as well. So sterling outlook looking more and more bullish all the time. Taking a look at the OTC markets, feeding off the Trayport Joule screen directly into Updater. So we can start with the front month contract on MBP. We see here we're bearish in the medium term. We are seeing downward pressure. This March low is what we really have to watch at about 37.75. We did have this downside target of 36, and we've come some way towards that. That was given at 39.20, so it is playing out, and we do have some very big downside targets as well to gun for, so quite key there. Keep an eye on the short-term chart. Of course, you can do any chart from your Trayport screen. Just simply right-hand click, update a chart, and we can then go to the 60-minute or the 1 minute on the MBP contract. And if we go, just press the T key, you'll get the trends and targets on your Trayport data, and we see here 35.55 and 36.75 are the downside targets, 5 and 8% downside. So MBP does still look quite bearish. Looking at winter summer seasons contract, we see here we're below on the seasonal, and on the prompt markets within day just below, and day ahead also we're just below. So gas MVP market not looking good at all. TTF a little bit better, but still just struggling at the cloud level, and so this 1550 mark is now really quite important, and of course taking out that low at about 1475 would be very significant. So we do have a low of target of 1463 downside, so TTF looking a little bit better than MVP, but still pretty bearish. The summer contract looking a bit better, quite a strong recovery in the last few days, and the prompt market also just finding some support on the cloud, so also looking a little bit better. German gas markets, so we look at NCG really struggling in the cloud short term, and Gazpool struggling to get above as well, so those gas markets not looking as good. Taking a look at power products, German power bounced very nicely on the short term cloud yesterday. That's given us a level at about 29.25. That is the key level to watch now. That low is really important. 28 is the ultimate low on the medium term chart. We found good support there. German power is still long term bullish, and we do have multiple targets in both directions, but the key thing is it's mostly to the upside. Hopefully the oil price will drive energy markets higher generally. If you want to take a look at the 1 minute chart, very easy to do an updater. Again, data coming from Tradeport. Press the T key, and you've got this downside target of 27.90. If we go into smaller box sizes, we see here the picture starts to get fairly mixed. We did have this upside target to 29.90. We've come some way towards that in the recovery. Just watch these targets develop on your screen. These are the charts to watch if you're trading German power. Taking a look at base load, we see here on the quarters, that's looking pretty good as well, and on the months. So German power still holding its bullish trend. French power not so good, falling away quite strongly this morning on the Cal, down 2% nearly, and on the quarters it is holding strength, but not looking as good as German power, and the same on months. Dutch power really looking very bearish, having found resistance very strongly on the crowd, falling away, and so we are just seeing Dutch power selling off in a way that German isn't, so that's not looking so good. And Italian power just pulling back as well. Spanish power has been really quite bullish, and at the moment we're just seeing a little bit of a sell-off, down 1.3% this morning, but no great surprises there. It's still holding its bullish position all round. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.